Good evening, Cecil TV, Cecil County, and all of our viewers. I'm Grant Handley, your political correspondent, and with me is the one and only Rob Alt, Mayor of Elkton. Mayor, thank you for joining, sir.
Of course, Grant.
Really appreciate you making the time. Man, what a city, Elkton. County seat, got a lot going on. There's a lot of things we're going to dive into and talk about today.
Perfect.
Must be a great town to be the mayor of.
Well, there's no town better, quite frankly. I mean, Elkton is the county seat.
Yep.
We've been incorporated for many, many, many years. We're looking forward to this 250th anniversary coming up.
250.
250,
Man.
right? We're going to be right along with our nation, right?
Seriously.
And it's pretty exciting.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Mayor, jumping into it, could you tell us about your political journey leading to becoming mayor of Elkton?
Yeah, it's a long story. If everyone has a lot of time, I'm happy to tell everyone about it. But, I like to start off by always saying that, I was born in Elkton. I was one of the, I believe I'm the only mayor that has ever been born in Union Hospital. So my family moved here in 1960 from West Virginia.
Wow.
I grew up in the trailer park off of 213, heading down toward Chesapeake City. Went to Bohemia Manor High School.
Okay.
So I've been here my whole life. Married a local Elkton girl. She's been at the Acme Markets for 44 years. Right? We raised 3 children here in Cecil County, and they're all doing fantastic. They're doing great. But what kind of got me into the political world is what I like to tell everybody is that I think it was about 1990. I had a water main break in front of my home.
Uh-oh.
And as we know, I did what every citizen should do. You should call your public works department and report that you had a water main break. So I lived right on North Street. Water was coming out of the street. We just had our first child, Emily, born in 1989. And I went to work. I was, at that time, I was working for a welding supply company in Wilmington, Delaware. I went to work. I came home. The water main was fixed, but the lateral going to my house was an old galvanized lateral, and they tried to connect it at the street, and they were having problems reconnecting it.
Right.
And they couldn't reconnect me, because the lateral went onto private property.
So no water for you.
No water. So I did my job. I told the town about this water main break, and then now I come home, child, 1 year old at the house, we have no water.
No water.
So guys from Public Works, they were great. They said, Mr. Alt, we'd like to fix it, but we're not allowed to go onto private property. I said, well, who can you call? And they said, well, we got to call our town administrator. That's the only person we can call. So he shot out. It was Louis George, and Louis is still our town administrator.
Yes.
But
Yep.
Louis came out, and he said, "Well, hey, we can't do this." I said, "What do you mean you can't do it?" I said, "It's 5 o'clock. I have no water. I'm giving you permission to go onto my property and fix this water main break." They said, "Mr. Alt, we just can't do it." I said, "This is senseless." I said, "It doesn't make any sense to me." And I was very fortunate that they were tearing down the old Acme building, where the old Acme building was being torn down, where the Union Hospital has their parking garage.
Right.
So I walked over there, and the contractor was over there, and I was very fortunate that I knew the fellow operating the backhoe, and he said, "We'll come over at 5:30. So they came over, and they put me a new water line in and fixed it, and I said, "This just is not right."
You got lucky.
I got very lucky. So later on that year, I see in the Cecil Whig there was a notice that there was an election coming up for town council people. I said, you know something? I don't want anyone to have to go through what I just went through. And that's what I did. I ran for office. Of course, I got beat. I lost my election. But that introduced me to who the mayor was, who the council was.
Right.
Now I know what's happening.
Right.
And I guess it was 4 years later I ran, and I was successful. Won as town councilman. And 4 years later, I got elected mayor. In 2002, I decided no more politics for me. I'm going to raise our children. My wife and I were very active in the kids' sports, and we thought this was the right move for us.
Right.
And that's what I did. I got out for 12 years, and I tell everyone that I found myself 12 years later in 2014 watching Celebrity Apprentice, eating cheese curls, and I'm thinking, what is going on with my life, right? What is going on with me? And I decided to run, and I ran for office, and I got elected again. And I've been there now for 8 years, or 10 years. It's been 10. It was going on the 10th year. I have 2 more years.
And in 2026, when your
Yep.
term expires, will you be seeking re-election?
I am not seeking re-election, so I'm telling everyone right now, I will not be seeking re-election. And I think I'm going to spend time. We got 2 grandchildren. I think that's my direction. I got a lot of. I'll have some time on my hands, and I think after serving the community for 20 years, I think it's the right thing to do, right?
Definitely.
And I think we got a lot of things moving forward, a lot of robust growth happening in Elkton. So I think that I'm going to enjoy my grandkids. I'm going to enjoy my hobbies.
Good.
And
Good.
you know, a lot of people don't. Here I'm 63 years old, and I still like to collect baseball cards. Right? That's kind of crazy.
Well, speaking of robust growth,
Yeah.
Mayor, you know, one of the most discussed development projects in the county is the Southfields housing
Yep.
development. You know, and there's kind of 3 prongs I was hoping you could touch on with Southfields. We got the good. We have how is that going to impact the local economy? You know, and then how is that going to impact kind of Elkton's revenues and the things you can do with that? And then finally, is there going to be a traffic impact? Did State Highway look at that? Can people expect congestion, or what are the consequences there?
Well, you know, all 3 are great questions, and I'll tell you a little bit about the Southfields project to start with. Going back 10 years ago, and all these things tie in together, there's truly a master plan when it came to Southfields. And Southfields is actually going to help our flooding issues in Elkton, which sounds a little crazy when I go around to tell you this, but if we can free up that space around where the Little League is today, that's going to help us be able to do some type of flood control project in our downtown.
Mitigation.
But we could never do it until we had land high and dry outside of the floodplain. All of our recreation land in the town of Elkton is in the floodplain. Now we have an opportunity to move out to the Southfields Park, and now you'll have our children playing in an area where they'll never have to worry about this flooding or the impact of flooding. So the Southfields project, when we first started working on this project, I tell everyone I wanted to build the largest indoor-outdoor recreation facility in North America. Southfields is over 700 acres, right?
Wow.
Over 700 acres. And I pitched that idea. I went to all the conferences. I was showing these plans that this land was owned by a developer who wanted to put over 4,000 single-family homes onto that site. It didn't make sense. You know, I had the same concern as everyone else. You know, you put 4,000 homes, where's the job creation? What's it going to do with the impact of traffic? How's this going to work? And there was a lot of questions that we had. But Southfields, we decided to do a live, work, play community. My sportsplex went from 700 acres down to 60 acres. But we were able to build 300, we're going to build 300 single family homes. We're going to build 300 apartments. We're going to have retail, probably 2 hotels. But the sportsplex is going to bring in about 250,000 visitors a year from a tourism perspective. So what does it do to our local economy? I want to say that the town of Elkton currently we're about 110 employees. Our town budget is about through real estate taxes, we collect about $7 million a year.
Right.
Total, we collect with personal property taxes and so forth, maybe $13 or $14 million a year. The only way that a town can survive is either by growth
Right.
or by raising taxes.
Right.
Right? No one wants to hear the word raising taxes. So you have to grow.
Right.
When I was elected in 2014, I believe that the people of the town of Elkton hired me to be their economic development director. They didn't want their taxes to be raised, and we haven't done that.
Right.
So Southfields will generate, to give you another number, if I bore you,
No,
tell
man,
me.
bring the numbers on,
Okay,
dude.
I'm going to bring the numbers,
numbers
on.
on.
So currently the town of Elkton's assessable base is $1.2 billion. All of our taxes are based on that assessable base.
Right.
Southfields will double it. So our assessable base, the income that's going to come into the town is over $7 million from Southfields. The county's going to collect over $11 million. So the impact of that itself should allow our residents not to have any type of tax increase for years and years and years and years to come. When you have 110 employees and you have merit increases, you have step increases, you have health care increases, you have fuel costs, you have all these different costs, what tends to happen is, where's the money coming from, right?
Right.
And every year, we're at the point right now, we need this growth. We absolutely need the growth.
And with that increased revenue for the town, you're getting better quality services for your residents. It's not municipal government is not a for-profit entity.
It is not. And the hope that we have, and I use the word hope loosely, but the plan is that we'll be able to give money back to our residents.
Right.
Right? We don't need $7 million more a year. We do pretty darn good with what we have.
Right.
But we are going to need, there's some challenges, which I'll tell you about those challenges in a minute. But we want to give that money back to our residents, and that's what we've done. I mean, we've currently looking at our water and sewer costs for the town. If I can say, the town of Elkton has the lowest water and sewer rates in the whole county. And we finally are going to have to raise those.
Right.
I don't like it. In fact, we gave an 11% decrease about 6 years ago because our reserve funds were so high. And I was not a believer that the reserve funds should be so high when our residents are needing that.
Right.
So we subsidized it with our reserve funds, but now the reserve funds are getting low.
Right.
And we had to take action. And I hate it as much as anyone else does because I got to pay it, but there'll be an increase effective May.
Well, providing water for your residents is something that you guys do to break even essentially as a government.
100%.
You're not making money from it, and if you're losing a lot of money from it, services will get cut. Your hands are kind of tied.
And those are our two challenges. We have two challenges I see moving forward long after I'm gone. One, in 2004, the residents of the town of Elkton voted overwhelmingly, and I also was a person that voted for it. I supported the unionization of our police department. Along with that, when they went out and knocked on everyone's doors, they were able to provide their own language that was voted on in the charter. So it gave them arbitration, and it gave them a defined pension. And the municipality has to fund that pension. And each and every year, that cost goes up by the actuary to fund that.
Right.
And I can tell you, last year alone was $900,000. Unbelievable. You think about that.
On a $13, $14 million budget, right?
$900,000 went into the pension plan. And that's very difficult for people to swallow, but our residents voted overwhelmingly.
Right.
And we have not had to raise taxes. And I see going down the road, if we don't have growth like Southfields, it's going to be a challenge.
It's going to catch up.
And then I think the biggest challenge that we have moving forward is definitely the water system. The town of Elkton, we're in fantastic shape when it comes to infrastructure. We're in fantastic shape. We got all of our water towers are up and running. They've been repainted, well serviced. Our public works crew does a fantastic job when it comes to the maintenance of our infrastructure. The challenge is that there's going to be some new requirements placed on the town of Elkton because we're at the head of the bay. Right? We're at the head of the bay, same as Northeast. We're at the head of the bay, that these PFASs, or forever plastics, are in our aquifer. Now, this could have happened from the aquifer, because it starts all the way up north, let's say in Maine, and it works all its way down.
Yep.
But these plastics get into your drinking water, and now we have to start to remove them. And this is not going to be an easy process. Cheap. And it's not going to be cheap. Just preliminarily, they want to use like a charcoal style filter to eliminate the PFASs. which is great, but you may have to change this filter 4 or 5 times a year. This filter could cost over $100,000 per filter, for example. And then to dispose of this charcoal filter can't be disposed back into the dirt. You can't burn it. It's like a nuclear waste.
Right.
This is a challenge for all municipalities. This is not just the town of Elkton.
Right.
So if I ever had an additional vote, I would say we need experts running your system in some way at all. But that's a challenge for all of us.
Well, luckily, as you mentioned, hopefully Southfields can give you that revenue to handle those challenges. And you had mentioned briefly the sports complex and how awesome that's going to be. Mm-hmm. I think we're all aware that it's going to be great for tourism and big tournaments and things like that. What can residents expect with the sports complex? Can they use it? Is there a membership fee? What's the deal there?
There won't be any type of membership fee as far as I'm aware of, and it will be open to the public. Now, if there's action going on, of course, the public can't interfere with the activities. But in most cases, your tournaments will be on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, right? And it'll be a controlled in and out with traffic, because traffic has been a concern. The schools have been a concern with the impact of the amount of people that's going to be moving into the community. But the traffic from where the Southfields project in the direction that they're going to go shouldn't impact the traffic that's heading into Chesapeake City, Cecil, and so forth. But there has been studies, and there's currently improvements being made. There's improvements being made on 279 because of Southfields, right?
Right.
So there's improvements being made as we speak.
Well, between Frenchtown, the sports complex, the challenges, and your personal background, I feel like I've learned a lot more about you, and I thought I knew you pretty well. So I hope our viewers did too. Robert Alt, Mayor of Elkton, I want to thank you for coming and joining us today. Thank you so much.
Grant, thank you. If you want me to come back, I can tell you a little bit more about me.
Sure, that'd be great.
All right, very good.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.